let's say the people were sort of satisfied. After all, the little city had jobs, even if they weren't the greatest jobs.
Hey, fill her up!
And they had culture. Well, actually they had Al's Cafe, but Al did have some paint-by-number artwork on the walls. Oh, and they had beauty. Well, to be more precise, someone had planted a few flowers on the edge of some land where they were going to build a park, but they never quite got around to building it. So that's why the people were only sort of satisfied. Then one day someone said, I wish we had some better jobs. So they had a town meeting and developed a plan. Everyone would chip in, and they would pay a big company to move to the little city. And guess what? A big company came. And suddenly there were better jobs and new families in town. But when the money ran out, the big company said, our workers aren't happy. There's nothing to do here, and besides, except for a few scraggly flowers, it's kind of an ugly little place. So the big company left, and the little city was right back where it started. Then someone said, we do need more to do here. So they had a town meeting and developed a plan. They collected some more money, and they built a theater, and a stadium, and an art gallery with real art. Not paint-by-number art, mind you, but the real thing. But because there weren't enough good jobs, nobody could afford tickets to the theater or the stadium, and they closed down. And nobody could afford to buy any art. So all the artists got on a bus and moved to a commune in Nevada. And the little city was right back where it started. Then someone said, you know, this is kind of an ugly little city. Whatever happened to that park we were going to build? So they had a town meeting and developed a plan. They took up a collection, and that was hard since there wasn't much money left. But they finally collected enough to build a beautiful park. But the park was so far out on the edge of town that no one could get there without driving. So nobody went. And after a while, the beautiful park fell into disuse, and the little city was right back where it started. Then, a very interesting thing happened. One summer evening, someone left Al's Cafe, walked along the street, and stopped to pick up a piece of trash. And they threw it away. Now, that may not seem like much to you, but when other people came along, they noticed that the street looked different, cleaner. And because the street was cleaner, it made the other pieces of trash look out of place. So almost without a second thought, everyone began to pick up the trash. And when the trash was gone, the broken windows seemed out of place. So they fixed them. Even Al noticed how clean and nice the street had become. So he put some flower boxes outside his cafe, and some tables, and chairs. And people sat at the tables and talked about how nice things looked. And they said, if our street can look this good, maybe our other neighborhoods could too. So some people started neighborhood associations to clean things up. And some people started gardening clubs to make things beautiful. And they managed to collect just a little bit of money. And they built wide sidewalks and bike and running trails. And they put small parks right in the neighborhoods where people could actually use them. And they started to connect everything together. So people didn't always have to drive to get from place to place. And with more people walking and hanging out at Al's, he expanded. And more restaurants started to open. And other little shops and businesses began to grow and expand. Al even helped sponsor a local theater group. Now, things were hopping in the little city. And it wasn't long before they began to build a university. And then, the strangest thing of all happened. A big company showed up and wanted to move into the little city. How much money do you want? Said the people in the little city, expecting the worst. But the big company said, we don't need money. We need good people to work for us. And the only place good people want to live is in beautiful cities that have lots of things to do. You know, said the people in the little city, suddenly realizing they had finally discovered the right plan for them. We've got an old park on the edge of town that we need a little help with. So a big company moved in next to the park, which they made beautiful again. And this time, people moved near the park to be able to work at the big company. It didn't take long for more big companies to move in, and they helped make the little city more beautiful. And the good jobs gave people more money to spend. And that brought the artists back. And the artists said, wow, we just love what you've done to the place. And they helped to make the little city even more beautiful. So now the little city had business, culture, and education, and beauty, all mixed together and connected. It was was now a sustainable little city with just the right mix of everything. And everyone was very, very happy. So the moral of this story is, the next time you're walking down the street and you see a piece of trash, just imagine what might happen if you stopped and threw it away.